Hi, I'm Rick Rheins, Senior Rabbi, Temple Sinai in Denver, Colorado. This week's Torah portion concludes the book of Exodus. We'll be reading from Vayakhel and Pekudei from chapters 35 through 40 of the book of Exodus. We'll lift up that Torah and say, Chazak, Chazak, V'nit Chazek, be strong, and be of good courage. It's also Shabbat HaChodesh. It's the Shabbat that comes right before the new month of Nisan, which means that we're not too far away from Passover. So there's a lot going on in this week's Torah portions, and we start with Vayakhel. Again, Moses is commanded Vayakhel, make a congregation, bring the congregation together, collect all so that they feel connected with one another and instruct them to now create this holy place, the Ohel Moed, the tent of meeting, the first of the tabernacles, which will become ultimately, when we get to Jerusalem, the temple, and which will become ultimately, in our days, the synagogues. Tell the people to come together and to bring, according to their hearts, the voluntary offerings, the work of their hands, and create a holy place, but to make first a congregation so that everyone feels that this is a place for them. And the people do. They keep bringing and bringing and bringing until Bezalel, the head artisan, says to Moses, the people have brought too much. They keep bringing and bringing, and Moses has to say, okay, people, we don't need you to bring any more stuff, but keep bringing your hearts. Keep bringing your souls. Keep creating community. The very end of the book of Exodus, even before we say Chazak, Chazak, V'nit Chazek, the very last line of Exodus includes the phrase Bechol Ma'asechem, in all of their journeys. So the children of Israel have now a place where we can come together to congregate, to have our worship, but it also anticipates that we will be going on a long journey. Indeed, the children of Israel at that time, they didn't know that they were only a little bit away from the promised land, but circumstances would play out, as we'll read in the weeks to come, that they're going to spend about 40 years in that wilderness. And that also anticipates the long journey of our people, that we have gone from the Holy Land to diaspora, chutz la'aretz. We have gone through all the challenges of life, but what has kept us together? What has kept our faith, our people, our family alive? It's because we come together in congregation. That's the strength of our people, that we realize that there's a sense of hope and purpose in our connectedness with one another. It doesn't mean that we're always going to agree with one another. How boring would that be, right? We like the masal matan, the give and take. We like the fact that we can share our opinions and say, Elu ve'elu divrei Elohim chaim, this one's opinion and that one's opinion. They're both significant. They disagree with each other. They're both holy. God says, hooray for both of them. How could that be? They're fighting, they're arguing. It's okay. We're family. We come together with respect, even when we disagree with them, and we're interested in what the other person has to say. And so we come together as congregation, not to conform, but to perform that which is holy and good and life-affirming, which brings us to that special reading that we have for Shabbat HaChodesh. It's from chapter 12 of the book of Exodus. And it says, this will be the first of the months for you. That's the month of Nisan. And it says, make sure that each family is prepared to bring the Paschal offering. Have an offering, whether it's a lamb or a goat, that you'll have for the Passover. And it's important to note that in that passage, which instructs us on the fundamentals of Passover, that we have a telling of the story, that we have the Paschal offering with matzah and bitter herb, and we remember what the long journey that we've been on. But then it says, if there's a household that's yimat, that does not have enough, is not of the means to afford a Paschal offering, a lamb or a goat, can't afford the Passover Seder, then that family should join with its neighbors in community, in congregation. And that's what we do in the Jewish community. At Temple Sinai, we'll have, for our members, a first night of Passover, a chance for everyone to come together. Now, of course, we're somewhat limited by size, but man, we're going to have a couple of hundred plus coming together for our Passover Seder. And many of whom would not have had the opportunity to celebrate that Passover together otherwise. We open up our lives and say, welcome in. Let us create community. If in your home you have space to have some loved ones, some neighbors, a Jewish family that otherwise would not be able to enjoy a Passover, whether it's on the first night or the second, whatever, I hope you'll consider doing the same. That is what has helped us persevere b'chol ma'asechem, in all of our journeys. We look to our brother and sister and say, you're family. We're a part of community. We're a part of a congregation. Shabbat Shalom.